Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here. And in today's video, I am joined by both Austin and Aaron from the Altcoin Daily channel. Guys, I have a fantastic interview lined up with them today because I want to bring you guys some insight into how they got into the cryptocurrency space. Austin and Aaron, welcome to the channel. How are you guys doing?
Yo, Crypto Jebb. Awesome to be here. Awesome to do this collab, Crypto Jebb, Altcoin Daily. Great to be in crypto.
Great to be here. Been watching your channel forever. Finally merging the two. Let's do it.
There we go. Awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. You guys probably don't know this because I normally don't say it on camera, but I always joke behind the scenes on Around the Blockchain. I'm like, I swear it's not two people. It's just one of them. There's only one of them and they're pretending they're twins so they can like get some clout or something. Finally, I get to see both of you guys in the same room. So I'm really looking forward to it. Guys, the channel Altcoin Daily recently passed 1 million subscribers on YouTube. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you on that. But second of all, how did that feel?
It felt like I can finally be happy. I finally have permission.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. It felt awesome. I mean, I don't want to speak for Aaron, but like we're truly like, it's so cool to be building the community, cultivate a like-minded audience that believes in this Bitcoin revolution like us. And like the original goal when we first started the channel, we'll get into the specifics in a sec, but it was, can we reach 100K? Is it possible to find 100,000, like-minded individuals of Bitcoin hodlers as well? Of course, that was in the bear market. Much has changed, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, just like surreal. But then on the other hand, it's like we're doing pretty much the same thing we did when we had, 10 subscribers. Relatively, it's the same work, nose to the grindstone, just, digging into the cryptocurrency market. So it's really cool. But at the same time, it's just, it's just what we have always been doing.
Well, you're providing your viewers a lot of value. It shows because you're growing really quickly still. You're getting a ton of views. I remember when you guys were really, really small, like back in the day. We've been running this channel since November 2017. I want to ask you guys, what did the first year in your YouTube journey look like? How did that start? Because I can tell you all about my story, but I'd love to hear from another set of content creators. How did that look?
Well,
sure.
Yeah, maybe we should just set it up how we started the channel. And Aaron technically started it, so I want him to tee it off.
Sure. So, I got into crypto in like late 2016, 2017, like a lot of people. Really wasn't like full-time into it though. It was very peripheral. Didn't really even understand a lot about it, but that's when I started first investing in crypto. And then in 2018, February 2nd, actually, 2018 is when we started the channel. And along with that, just went into crypto full time. I mean, studying the market every day. And, February 18, we were talking about building YouTube channel, probably maybe the worst time ever to start a cryptocurrency YouTube channel. Just at the start, the very beginning of the multi-year bear market, as we were trying to cultivate an audience of interested people. Many people were just disgusted in the crypto space and not interested. But, actually, that's a great time to learn, obviously, in a bear market, because a lot of the hype is gone and the audience we built within that next year and couple years really were like the long-term people who, aren't just coming in near the tops and staying for a second and trading the meme coins. They were people who actually wanted to learn as well, what is actually valuable in the cryptocurrency space. So it was that's what I'd say about it. Austin, what could you add?
The only thing I would add is like we started the channel specifically to solve what like we felt was a need in crypto YouTube, just our POV. And first off, Aaron started the channel, invited me in a few weeks later, so I do have him to thank. But back then, in my opinion, there was there was a handful of really good crypto YouTubers. I think there was a lot of not good or just very shilly or long-winded crypto YouTubers. They're not really around anymore. The good ones survived, their audience stuck with them. But the channel was created for like, what kind of content would we want to watch? Meaning just the news, just the facts, obviously share the opinion along the way, but shorter content where we can stay in tune with what's actually happening in this market.
Well, I think that's awesome. And I started our channel on November 16th, 2017. So I actually predate you guys, but you guys have grown so much faster than us. Obviously, you guys are at 1 million. We're at 200K. And I think I really want to, first of all, congratulations to you on that. I don't say that in any like, you got it. There's no competitive nature there with that. But the thing I really want to tee in here, what you just said, Aaron, about that being a really great time to learn, I want to kind of go a little bit off my script and kind of dive into that. A lot of people get really freaked out when bear markets come. I know that I started the channel a month later, we hit all-time high and crashed like a rock 70% in 30 days. I'm like, crap, I just started this thing. I literally had just had a conversation with my dad, like, hey dad, I'm dropping out of college, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. Dropped like a rock. So that was stressful. What can you guys say to people that do get freaked out about bear markets? Because I'm of the same opinion, they're a great time to learn.
I would say that it's so hard because obviously whenever this next bear market hits, when it does, I don't think it's going to happen anytime in the short term, but when it does, what really kills you, in my opinion, what really takes the wind out of you in a bear market, it's not the 80% price drop. If that happens, it's the fact that that happens over like 1-2 years. It's the length of that really just, makes everybody just disgusted and bored. And obviously the next bear market's going to be different. But like in the previous bear market, the more I researched it, the more obvious to me it was that there was just so much building and awareness and acceptance. And, the fact that, like, for instance, Bitcoin with its fundamentals not going away, it was so obvious to me that this is going to get a whole lot bigger. And even if it wasn't the future, it had, at least one big cycle left in it. I mean, in 2017, we hardly reached the market cap of the .com bubble. So, I knew there's a lot more to go. As far as, the next bear market, I don't know, Austin, what would you say?
Well, I'm just thinking of like examples in our own lives. Like we had friends that, bought Bitcoin or cryptocurrency near the top in 2017. 2.5 years later, 1.5 years later, when Bitcoin was between 6K, maybe dropped to 3,800 or whatever it was, they were like, hey, we all went out for beers or whatever. Hey, we'll pay you back in Bitcoin. They don't want to touch Bitcoin because, hey, it's only dropping, when in reality, that should be the time to accumulate. And just an example in a closer time frame, when Bitcoin dropped from 65K to 30K, everybody was claiming, oh, I wish I could have bought cheaper, I just got in. And then when Bitcoin dropped to 30K, there's all this sudden uneasiness. Well, maybe I'll wait. I'm not ready to buy yet. And there's just something about human nature that it's way more fun to buy when Bitcoin's going up, FOMO, and it's not as fun to buy going down. So I always find like the true bulls as investors love the bear markets, but it's one thing to say it and it's another thing to actually be ready to get into it. And you're never going to quite know when it happens, but the true bulls, I find, love the bear markets.
There's a coach, I forgot what sport it was, who this coach was, but there's a coach that said one time that the true champions are not the people that are able to push through when times are good, and it's not the true champions that are able to push through when times are bad. The true champions are the people that are willing to push through when it gets boring. People think that it's these 80% dips that really are going to shake out all the weak hands. That's not what I've seen in my experience. You guys are running your channel at this time. You remember back August, September, October of 2018, Bitcoin was doing nothing. It was up 1%, down 1% for like 3 months. I don't even know what I talked about for those 3 months because there wasn't nothing to talk about. The people that survive are the ones that are able to survive the boredom. And sometimes Bitcoin trades sideways for a week and people say, I'm bored, I'm going to leave. But I think the biggest lesson that we can take away from this is, hey, if you get bored in crypto, that might be a sign that that is a challenge that you need to rise to. And I think that there's a lot of growth that can happen there. And also, I think it's really interesting to think about when that next bear market might come. I don't want to nail you down on anything, but I know everybody's wondering what you guys' position is on this. When do you think the next bear market is going to come to Bitcoin? Because I think it's undeniable that one will eventually happen, right?
I think so. And short answer is, nobody's gonna know, or unless you get lucky, nobody can predict the exact tops. Nobody can predict the exact bottoms. The easiest way for the average retail investor, in my opinion, this is what I personally do. If you want to take profits, just like you dollar cost average in around the bottom, you dollar cost average out around the top. If that's your strategy, when it comes, what it's going to look like, I would say, I guess the thing that cryptocurrency has that no other industry has in terms of transparency is we can see exactly what's happening on the blockchain. So all that kind of stuff can give us clues in terms of when the market might turn. And typically what we've seen in past switches from bull to bear market is blow off tops, not only in price, but in long-term hodlers. We don't know who holds these coins. We can just see the wallets that have held Bitcoin for years, months, an extended period of time. They sell into those tops. The miners, who usually have they're pretty in tune with the market, they start selling their hodl positions, preparing for that bear whenever it is. What we're seeing right now, miners are still holding. Long-term holders are still accumulating. So we're not seeing that yet. But I think there will be clues that give us a general idea of when this turns. And from that, then you just make your own personal decisions on, all right, do I keep holding? Do I get some cash for this next bear market? What do you do?
January 23rd, 2022, bear market hits in full effect.
I love that you answered like that, because the thing is, I asked that on behalf of the audience, because everybody always asks that as we're hitting new or all-time highs and we're approaching the end of the bull market. Everybody always wants to put a date on it. And I've done the same thing. I've said, hey, I think in between these months, we're probably going to see the end of the bull market. I think the takeaway that people need to have is, hey, look, the bull market will end at some point. A bear market will come at some point, but there's opportunity to be made in both. There's an old saying that billionaires are made during recessions. And that's because when the market is down, that's the time to buy, which is what you guys were talking about. But I want to pivot here a little bit. You guys started the channel in 2018. But how did you guys actually get involved in cryptocurrency?
I got involved in cryptocurrency, well, I guess around 2016. Me and my ex-girlfriend broke up, and all of a sudden I had a lot more free time. I wanted to, try and get like a hobby I can monetize. I started like thinking about trading cryptocurrency, and two different things. A friend that I worked with started telling me about cryptocurrency. It started telling me about Bitcoin and crypto, and this was as 2017 was getting to the second half of the year. Things were really starting to heat up in the altcoin market, and everybody was talking about trading altcoins. So friends started talking to me about it, and then with another friend, I was taking an Uber to a comedy club in LA, and the driver started talking to me about like Firecoin or something, how he 3x'd his money. And that's when I was like peripherally getting into it. Like I bought a little bit, but just people started talking to me all about it. I didn't really understand that much of a difference. A friend could tell me this is a good coin. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. But that's how I kind of like got into it. I wanted to trade it at first. Then friends started talking to me about it. And then I saw all these crypto YouTubers, and I thought like, oh, I could do it better than half of them. Half of them are really good, and those guys are still around. But really, I was just like, there's got to be more to the story here. I know there's something valuable in cryptocurrency, and that's piqued my interest.
And the whole thesis was, surely if cryptocurrency is for everybody, the average person can figure it out. Two average guys that don't come from a traditional finance background, that aren't coders, surely we can figure it out, and then maybe find an audience that wants to go on our journey with us. For me personally, how I get into cryptocurrency, very short answer. Heard about it for the first time in 2013. Didn't think anything of it. Probably thought of it sort of like a meme. Didn't really come on my radar. I didn't understand permissionless, undebasable medium of exchange, store value. And then short answer is Aaron kept talking about it years ago, and he's like, man, you gotta look into this. And I joined the channel.
I think that's such a good mission, if you will, that crypto is for everyone. There's this stigma that cryptocurrencies is super complicated, super hard thing to understand. And I think that blocks a lot of people. So I think it's important that people hear that coming from you guys who are incredibly successful in the cryptocurrency space. Look, and I'll say it about myself too. There ain't nothing special about us. We just have a YouTube channel, guys. We're everyday people, just like every single one of you guys watching this video. And I want to encourage everybody watching, hey, if you think cryptocurrency is too hard for you, nonsense. There are plenty of resources now. Think about people 10 years ago trying to understand crypto when the internet was starting to take off, or when the internet was even younger than it is now, and there weren't anywhere near as many resources. So definitely a lot of encouragement there. Well, I want to ask you guys a couple more questions. The first one I want to ask you is, how has cryptocurrency changed you guys' lives over the last 3 years since you guys have gotten really involved in it first?
There's so many ways it changed our lives. First off, if you were accumulating, whether it's $100 or 10,000, whatever your range was back in 2018, obviously you've seen good projects, or by this time in the bull market, a lot of projects go up. But for me, it's taught me, I think about money differently. And people for the first time started understanding inflation, or re-understanding back in 2020, where they printed 30% of the total money supply ever created in the last 18 months now. But for me, it had me think about what makes money, what is considered the hardest form of money, how come humans naturally adapted to gold for all those years, And that was, back before the internet. Gold's still valuable. You can like Bitcoin, you can like gold, but that's more of the analog version. Bitcoin, in my opinion, is more the digital version. If we're going into the digital age, which I believe, 20 years from now, will be a whole lot more digital than we are today, just like 20 years prior. Right now, we're a whole lot more digital. So for me, it got me thinking just about money differently. And, if I have some delayed gratification, if I'm trying to buy a car today, wow, somebody that bought a car 2 years ago instead of Bitcoin, I could have bought it the whole dealership by now, maybe 4 years ago. And that's not to say you shouldn't take profits. It's just, what am I setting myself up for? How do I want my life different, in 10 years and 20 years? And then finding those projects, either the hardest form of money, a digital gold, or maybe the Web3s, maybe a few other select ones, what's going to be here 10 years from now.
Yeah, changed my life, in every way for the better, I'd say. Obviously done pretty well just holding Bitcoin and, just, going up with the cryptocurrency market. But even, beyond that, it's just cool to be in crypto. This is a nascent space exploding with growth and building. It's like being around in the .com bubble back in the day. If you were tapped into that, you were cool. It was cool to talk about. That's where the future is. So yeah, really good.
Yeah. Well, I have a question that I've always wanted to ask the Altcoin Daily brothers, and that is very simple. What are your favorite altcoins? I figure you guys are the resident experts on that. It's in the name.
True. And we always love answering this question. No, but really, we do get asked all the time by our friends, by other people, and it's a hot question right now. And I just want to preface, and our audience, subscribers of Altcoin Daily know this, that we would consider ourselves more risk-averse investors, don't like to have a lot of risk in our portfolios. The majority of our holdings are Bitcoin and then Ethereum, just because, well, Bitcoin specifically, it is the most decentralized, it is the most censorship resistant, and it's sort of the most complete product, or in terms of its use case, has the most undeniable future, with obviously understanding anything could happen. So point is, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the majority of our portfolios. For me personally, other than that, I like to find sort of verticals or industries that I think are going to be here from now, 10 years from now. So whether that's Web3, whether that's, meaning the Cardanos, the Polkadot, Solanas, I'm not saying I hold all these, but just the Web3 space in general, the graph for querying information, Chainlink, any of those Web3 sort of underlying protocols or protocols that are around Web3, that's what I like. Or maybe it's gaming, maybe it's social tokens, etc. So that's generally speaking what I look for. I would say that altcoins that I personally like, I like Cardano, I like Chainlink. I'm not saying these will do well or do bad. I'm just saying that I personally, they're good enough for me to take out a position in terms of social tokens. I like XCAD, there's also Rally, there's also Socios, another one. So, but I try and find those different verticals or those different industries in the crypto space that I'm bullish on in general, and then try and have a few different positions on investments that I'm willing to hold, even if we see a 90% dip. It's not going to be fun, but for me, there's a difference between investing and trading. For example, if I say projects that I'm invested in, and they go up for the next 3 months, and then they have a bear market for 2 years, people are going to be saying, wow, dude, you were dead wrong. These projects did horribly. And I just want to say there's a difference between the trade and an investment. To me, the investment is anywhere from 1 to 10 years down the line, depending on the optics of where we are globally. And for me, I'm trying to find investments that, one, are going to make the world better, that's going to take us away from big tech, overreach of censorship, government overreach, and also projects that I think have good fundamentals.
Yeah, for me personally, well, first of all, we're called Altcoin Daily because we talk about the whole market, no matter if we're invested in it or not.
I was just about to ask. That was my next question. Why Altcoin Daily?
Yeah. First of all, when I started the channel, I didn't realize there's this war between Bitcoin and altcoiners. The whole intention was we'll talk about the entire market, and that's still the intention today. So, Jebb is hot lately. Talked about Jebb the other day. We'll talk about Cardano if it got hot, or if Polygon got hot, or an NFT type token. Anything that's making news, we'll talk about and give our opinion. Obviously, it doesn't mean I'm invested in all of it. And I mean, the thing in general is there's so many different ways to make money in cryptocurrency, specifically by investing in coins. I mean, for the past 2 years, because we've been in a bull market, you could make money on a trade or even by holding on so many different coins, whether it's XRP, whether it's Cardano, Polygon, Polkadot, Red Fox, so many different things. So it's like, if I don't say your favorite token, it doesn't mean like, hey, if you are made money with XRP, hell yeah, man, hell yeah. I guess if I had to just throw out a token that I'm bullish on going in, ZK rollups, I think are going to be really hot. And Mina Protocol is one that's interesting to me. I think it's in the top 100. And yeah, I'm invested in that.
I think it's awesome I think it's awesome what you said. I've always said for years now, I personally have two ways I look at it, two portfolios I look at. I have my investment portfolio, then I have my trading portfolio, and I very rarely let the two cross. I'll take profits from trading and put it into investment when I'm trading. And then you also want to have a cash account so you have money that you can deploy on the sidelines. And then also a lot of what you guys both just said is you're looking for projects that do something. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. They think, oh, well, this project's just 100x. Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. Like there needs to be some kind of intrinsic value there. And that kind of leads me into my final question that I'll be asking you guys today. And this is something I ask every single guest we have, for the person who's been in crypto for less than 30 days, what is the number one piece of not financial advice that you would give them?
Great question. We like to ask a lot of our guests this type of question as well. I think one of the bigger mistakes I've personally made, I've seen many other people that enter the crypto space for the first time make, is investing in something before you understand something. Because if you don't understand why you put money in it, then that's when you'll panic sell or buy more near the top or act emotionally rather than intelligently or with a plan, at least. So I would say that if you're new and you don't understand the space, I'd personally stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum and then just keep learning about the rest. Or I do understand that it is human nature to speculate and want to find those hot alts. So maybe, 80% in Bitcoin and Ethereum, take that 20% and experiment, but don't over leverage yourself. Don't invest any money that you're not willing to lose, or at least, have a 90% drawdown, or maybe go to zero. I don't know how low they're going in alts, but take time to understand.
I'm going to tell you exactly what I tell my friends. Is this the correct thing to do? I don't know. Is this financial advice? Definitely not. But this is what I would tell my friends. You're getting into crypto. They've only been in it for 30 days. Say you have, for sake of argument, nice round number, $10,000. Put 60% of that in Bitcoin. Put 20% of that in Ethereum. And then the rest you can speculate. Continue adding to your Bitcoin stack. Trade it as a savings account. Stack sats. That's going to be here in 10 years. And you can always, buy the dips on other projects you like, especially as you go lower down coin market cap. Definitely have a plan to realize profits. If you realize profits, and even if you realize some gains, you'll never get burned ever, but never sell the whole thing. Always keep a moon bag, because what you don't want to do is FOMO back in the top. Let's say 2 years ago, you got into Cardano at 10 cents when we were all talking about it. Cardano hit $3. That was what, 20, 30x? You'd be, euphoric with the gains. But let's say you sold it all at 200% gains or 20x, whatever it is, at $2. That's awesome gains. But if you sold all of it and you see it go to $3, what if it goes to $4? You don't want to FOMO back into the top because you feel like you missed out. So in my personal opinion, like we mentioned earlier, scale out 10% here, 10% there, 10% again, and you'll never get burned. That's what I would do.
Great. That is phenomenal. I think people will get a lot of value from that. Guys, I think everybody watching my channel probably already knows the answer to this question, but where can our audience find the Altcoin Daily Brothers over on social media and on YouTube? All the links will be down below, of course.
You can find us on Altcoin Daily IO. That's on Twitter, Altcoin Daily YouTube channel. And you know where to find us. Links are down below. Also on Around the Blockchain, which is where we met Crypto Jebb.
Yes,
and
sir.
I do want to say, Crypto Jebb, that it's really cool, that show that we get to, mix and match with a lot of different crypto people we didn't specifically know. Mm-hmm. I think you're one of the shining lights on that channel in terms of a unique perspective that I'm always looking forward to when I'm on a show with you, because it's very reasonable and it's very, backed up with reason or actual data. So I love your perspective.
Well, I appreciate that. I can say the exact same thing about you guys. It has been a pleasure getting to know you guys over the last 6 months or so. And I always have the exact same opinion of you guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Cool. Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. Make sure to go and follow, Aaron and Austin over on social media. All the links will be down below. Go make sure to subscribe to their channel. They're one of the fastest growing channels in crypto, and they deserve it. Got some great videos that have gone out recently. Make sure to check them out. That's all I got for you today. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.